My name is Vermin Supreme, and I am running for President of America. I am a friendly fascist, a tyrant you can trust, and you should let me run your life because I know what is best for you.
In today's episode, Vermin and his staff get poisoned by stale democracy.
We need a change in the voting system.
So they find a professor
It's complicated.
to cure their ignorance
I like your brain.
and get them back on course to the White House. Get ready for some learning with Vermin.
Yes. I stand for 4 things. Free ponies for all Americans. Mandatory toothbrushing laws. Time travel research. Zombie preparedness.
Mr. Supreme, what's the next stop in your campaign trail?
The Ukraine, the Kiev, the Minneapolis.
That's okay. We normally don't like to trouble Vermin with the day-to-day details, but the next stop will be a week-long break from the road while we gather our Vermin volunteers from around the country for a vital training summit.
Now, that seems a little risky to be resting while your fellow candidates are out stumping, doesn't it?
This will be a week of hard work, brainstorming, and team building. In fact, the very last thing we will be doing is resting. All right, listen up. Start with a roll call. All right, New Mexico,
Present.
Florida,
Hi.
Hawaii,
Hello.
Oregon,
Ew.
Wisconsin,
Yes.
California,
Yeah.
Kentucky,
Here.
and Prince Edward Island.
Here.
Perfect. All right, now, sir.
Greetings, my fellow Americans. I would like to thank each and every one of you here for coming all these thousands of miles to this seminar. I hope we learn a lot, and soon you will be collecting signatures in your state to get me on your ballot, and that is the first step to global domination.
All right, at 1 p.m. sharp, Neil will be giving a talk entitled How to Spell. First, lunch order.
Hey folks, if everyone could please take a ballot, we'll vote on lunch now so it gets here at noon. Unfortunately, due to suboptimal campaign funds, we all have to order from one place so we can reap a sweet party platter deal. The options that deliver are
Prune fondue, Lapland cuisine, seafood toast, Kentucky lobster, horse meat, marrow smoothie, and Goldschlager.
No pizza?
No pizza. Write down your choice. I'd like to congratulate the winning choice with 5 votes, Kentucky lobster.
But only 5 people voted for that.
And that, my friend, is one of the most wonderful things about democracy. Now let's order that lobster.
delivery for Supreme.
Eight lobster
Attention, senior staff. Meeting now.
We need electrolytes. We should send runners to the store.
We've already spent our food budget for today. They're gonna have to drink lobster juice.
But it's the lobster that's to blame!
It's a germ brothel out there. I'm triaging dental hygiene, but we're already out on mouthwash.
I fed the ponies that lobster, but they don't look so good.
How are their teeth?
Come on, burro.
We are the leaders. We must set the example. Now let's sack up, ladies, gentlemen too. Get out there and get back on track.
Oh, cursed crustaceans! Look, people, today is obviously a total wash. Let's forget it. I called you here to set a plan so that tomorrow this does not happen again. Options?
You could endorse another candidate. Maybe Laplander cuisine or fondue.
We could rig the election.
You could take off your scrubs.
You could occupy your mom.
Just cancel the vote. You're in charge, sir. Choose the lunch yourself.
Oh no, there will be plenty of time for tyranny when I am elected supreme dictator of all the land.
Here, here. Vermin Supreme, the friendly fascist.
But for now, as I string everybody along for their free labor, let us stick to democracy.
Hear, hear, democracy!
We will vote tomorrow, and I will abstain, but we cannot risk a repeat of this food poisoning.
Sir, due respect. It's not the lobster cursing us. This is clearly the second coming of Aaron Burr.
Burr? The duel? Oh, duel? I see it. I see it now. We need a change in the voting system.
Where are you going?
We need an expert. Huh?
Excuse me. I think I'm lost. I'm looking for the Shoelace Museum.
Professor Lee, one of the foremost experts on voting methods.
I'm Professor Robin E. Lee of the University of the United States, Toronto campus. I have 81 years of tenure teaching political science. I hold 3 PhDs and 2 misdemeanors. And yes, I'm considered by 9 out of 10 of my nephews to be the leading expert on voting methods.
I've read all your libros.
You have?
On weekends, I'm really more of a casual shoelace enthusiast.
Shoelaces, eh?
Everybody take off your shoelaces for the nice lady.
And tie her up. And these, Professor, were our results. How do we fix them?
You could quit using the winner-take-all system.
Nonsense. It's the American way, the way we've always done elections.
But, Professor, is this the best system?
If I explain it to you, will you let me go?
Okay.
The winner-take-all system is also known as first-past-the-post or simple plurality system, which basically means that whoever gets the most votes wins.
That sounds fair.
And it's common.
Yes, it's used in the US, UK, Canada, India, Pakistan, the Philippines, South Korea, the list goes on.
And so democracy blossoms.
Wait, was that every country in the world?
She said Canada.
Yeah, she only omitted countries with tyrannical governments, right?
Professor, are there any democratic countries that use different methods?
Germany, Mexico, Denmark, Spain, Sweden, Israel, Japan, New Zealand, Ecuador, Belgium, Italy, Australia, Austria, Ireland, Indonesia, Latvia, Norway, South Africa.
Whoa, wait a minute, what?
Germany, Mexico, Denmark.
What do they use?
Well, different methods. It's complicated. Okay, I'll make it simple. So, there are 2 main types of elections. The first is known as single winner, like as if you were electing a president. The second is known as multi-winner, like as if you're electing a dozen members of a school board.
Yes. Yes.
Now, those are 2 very different beasts. Let's focus on your lunch. You need a single winner, right?
Gotta get that party platter discount. Gotta stay on budget.
So I heard you had 7 candidates.
Of the 20 votes cast, we have 4 for prune fondue, 3 for Lapland cuisine, 2 for seafood toast, 5 for Kentucky lobster, 3 for horse meat, 2 for marrow smoothies, and 1 for Goldschlager. I'd like to congratulate the winning choice with 5 votes, Kentucky lobster.
Awesome! But only 5 people voted for that.
As you can see, first-past-the-post voting does not necessarily represent the majority of voters. Sure, more people favored Kentucky lobster than, say, fondue or Lapland or horse meat, but only 5 people voted for it. That means that 15 people, 75% of your electorate, did not want lobster and voted for something else. Had there been a second round of voting, who knows?
Why would we need a second round? We already picked a winner.
Yes, but your winner only needed more votes than anyone else, not more votes than everyone else. Your system required a simple majority, but other systems require an absolute majority, which means that the winner must get 50% or more of all votes.
Footnote. The terms are often used interchangeably. Professor Lee professes in Toronto, but in the US, simple majority often means over 50%, whereas plurality often means the most votes, even if less than 50%. In most other English-speaking nations, the meanings differ.
Who would use that system?
Well, the US! Within the Electoral College system, which of course you do know how the Electoral...
Of course we know how the Electoral College works. The sickness seems to have fogged their thinking abilities.
Well, to jog their memory. During a presidential election, the winner is not determined directly by the popular vote of the entire country. Instead, each state controls a certain number of electoral votes based on the state's population. So California has 55 votes. Montana has 3. There's a total of 538 votes. And to win, a candidate must get at least 50% of those votes, or at least 270.
Yes.
And that's an absolute majority.
But wait, every state has to decide which candidate gets its electoral votes, and they do so by using first-past-the-post voting.
Well, Nebraska and Maine split up their votes.
Footnote. In those states, each congressional district cast one electoral vote based on the simple plurality winner in that district, on top of which 2 more electoral votes are cast based on the statewide simple plurality winner.
But all of the other 48 states each award all of their... Hi.
Professor Lee, this is Sixer. He's our resident zombie expert.
I love Shakespeare.
Teddy bears.
Catch you on the flip side.
Anyway, most of the states award all of their electoral votes to one candidate. For example, in 1992, in Montana, 35% voted for George H.W. Bush, 26% voted for Ross Perot, and 38% voted for Bill Clinton. So Clinton got the most votes, and Montana gave him all 3 of their electoral votes.
All 3?
All 3. But again, did it represent the majority? Only 38% of people wanted Bill Clinton.
Everyone wants Bill Clinton.
No, they didn't. 62% of Montanans did not want him.
Even in New York that day, a Democratic stronghold, only 49.7% of voters chose Clinton. That means that 50.3% of people wanted somebody else.
But if those contests had required an absolute majority of over 50%, no one got that.
And in our lunch vote, nobody came close to 50%. The cockroach only got 20%.
Cockroach?
Did I say cockroach? I meant cockroach.
You said cockroach.
Well, one solution is to hold a runoff vote.
I meant cockroach.
You said cockroach.
I said cockroach.
For example, you could use the 2-round system in which the top 2 candidates are runoff.
The 2-round method is used to elect the presidents of Argentina, Austria, Brazil, Chile, Finland, France, Ghana, Indonesia, Poland, Portugal, and all these countries too.
Now, Professor, if that 1992 vote had required a runoff vote...
Would it have produced a different result? I don't know. But consider Montana. Clinton was only ahead of Bush by 2.5%. If there had been a runoff, all it would take is for 60% of Perot voters to choose Bush, and Bush would win. We can't know for certain what might have happened, but considering that Montana has gone Republican in every other presidential election from today back to Johnson 64, it certainly makes you wonder.
It's those damn third parties.
Or, if you're a Clinton fan, it's those wonderful third parties.
Professor, you've been very helpful. I believe we have found our answer. I shall use my one-time decree to declare that tomorrow, lunch vote will be based on a 2-round voting system.
All right, listen up. We got the results of the runoff between the top 2 candidates, Kentucky lobster and Lapland cuisine. The winner of the runoff with 12 votes is Kentucky lobster.
What?
Sir, you need to declare a state of emergency and annul the vote.
I will not. If my fascist tendencies are to be unleashed, there will be no stopping them. I'm an addict, man. Lobster carries the day. Sixer, place the order. Hopefully it was all just a fluke and we will not get sick again.
Coming up in part 2 of this episode, Professor Lee and the gang explore even more voting options in the hopes of finding one that can unclench the grip of the lobster. But first, did Vermin know? A presidential candidate could win only these 11 states and still attain the required 270 electoral votes. Therefore, if you assumed that only 2 candidates ran and the winner only attracted 51% of the votes in each of those 11 states, then, theoretically, only 52 million voters would be needed to get a candidate elected president. That's only 34.7% of the nation's registered voters and only 22.6% of the nation's potential voters.
Footnote.
These figures are estimates based on the 2010 census and current voter registration as of August 2012. Perhaps, theoretically, if only one person voted in each of those 11 states, in the face of every other vote in all the other 39 states, only 11 individuals could elect a president like Vermin.